Hello, everyone. This is Zami Eccles-Irwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Assistant Director of the Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival. Right now, we are gearing up for our fall 2023 screening, which is going to be on October 7th at the Sunshine Mill Winery and Drive-In Theater. That's right, it's at a drive-in theater. And today we are talking with one of our participating filmmakers. Matt Robb is the director behind NOMAN. Matt, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thank you for having me, Sally.
For this festival, you just submitted the NOMAN trailer, but it sounds like the finished product is done and is currently being submitted to festivals. Tell me a little bit what inspired NOMAN.
Well, I initially started off as a remake of a old horror short I did back in 2016 for my associate's degree, and over time, at least during my workshop class, it just gradually evolved into what it is now. I added like a bit more a bigger theme to it, especially in regards to the social media aspect and the consequences of partaking in such a concept, especially if big example, people who wake up in the morning and think eating Tide Pods will get them like decent clout. So I just wanted to show off the consequences of how far some people willing to go to just for some certain clout and take it to really ignorant lengths.
Okay, totally. In your example there, the Tide Pod, that's makes me chuckle. It is kind of unfortunate that people are feeling pressured to do these things and aren't really giving it the critical thought, especially young people. But
Mhm.
from the nature of the trailer, it doesn't feel like horror comedy. It feels more horror. What's the vibe for the film, in your opinion?
Dark, dark occult horror.
Dark. Okay, it seems really seriously like kind of bloody and scary. And so tell me, what's the process like revisiting an older work? And what was that process like, kind of injecting now that theme of people kind of enthralled to social media?
Well, initially, my original short was just a simple little slasher short, but I realized that I kind of needed to put a little more oomph to it. So
Mm,
I figured social media would be a good topic to partake in, considering that's one of the big things nowadays,
right.
especially since in a way it gives you more marketing compared to, let's say, some like a TV commercial. It's even making more money than compared to Super Bowl commercials nowadays.
Right.
So I decided to one of the things that I carried over from the original short, I'd say, would be like a bunch of the shots, some of the some of the lighting, and I decided to just it's one of those things where if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay. Interesting. So you were able to kind of, so you didn't have to rework the whole thing completely. You're actually really satisfied with kind of the aesthetics and certain elements of your original. So you could just kind of update it.
That's correct. I'd say one of the biggest differences is my addition in digital VFX.
Okay. Cool. Well, can you tell me a little bit about what role that plays in the film?
Well, originally, I in the original film, even in this one, I do have like a little VFX regarding the text bubbles for like when somebody's texting.
Okay. Totally.
But I decided to amp it up a little more in regards to, I guess you could say, the villain of the movie. I
Okay.
won't do much anymore from there. And there's also more engagement in terms of live streaming. For
Okay.
example, my main lead, Gabrielle Alexander, she was more than willing to have us use her subscribers for a YouTube channel. She's an influencer herself, and her subscribers they just joined in the live stream in the middle of the shoot, and we just shot everything simultaneously through there.
Wow. Okay. So it's real documentation of an actual live stream happening.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
cool. Well, tell me a little bit about the kind of, from the trailer, it's very clearly evoked that there's a lot of time and effort, and a lot of attention to this very gloomy look, this gloomy lighting, this kind of hopeless atmosphere. What did you do to develop that? What was that kind of like on scene process like with the aesthetic of the film?
Well, I had numerous inspirations, particularly with the webcam, the live stream. I got inspired from Unfriended. The
Okay.
look, I guess I can say, at least with the overall aesthetic, in terms of oranges, reds, and blacks, and even yellows, I got some inspiration from specifically the craft and also the occult stuff from there as well.
Okay. Totally. Well, tell me, what was that onset process like with the actors? Was this a fun shoot? Was it stressful? What was that like?
I'd say the stressful part was before the shoot started, since literally a few days before we were about to start shooting, our first day had to do with shooting the ending, which is involved an exterior shot of the original house. Owner canceled on us last minute, so we had to scramble to find a new place. And that's one of the biggest things I learned about making this film. Always have a plan B.
Okay.
But when it comes to working with the actors, I honestly had no other actors in mind for the roles. These are people I worked with previously, whether it's an old job, an old acting gig, because I'm an actor myself.
Okay.
And I wrote these roles specifically with them in mind.
Okay, very cool. And I'm kind of curious, knowing now that you have an acting background as well, when you write, especially for specific people, do you feel like your acting brain is working and you're thinking specifically about how you would translate this into acting? Or do you feel like there's a disconnect? You're writing the thing and it's kind of up to them to interpret.
Well, when writing the characters, like I said, since I specifically wrote it with them in mind, I wanted to put a little bit of their own personalities in there.
Okay.
Slight tweaks here and there. For example, the one of the male leads, the personality is just about the same. It's just in the film, he's more douchey.
Okay. Right.
Well,
He's taking his dial to 11 a little bit.
that's correct. And the main lead, same thing. She's just a little more passive aggressive in her behavior. And as for the other male lead, he's more fatherly in this.
Okay. Well, so I'm kind of curious. This is such an interesting circumstance where you had the opportunity to remake this film from an earlier version and revamp it. What did you learn from this process, especially in regards to the fact that you got kind of a second chance, a round two?
Well, like I said earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, if there's something that you can really improve on, then I suggest it. It's one of those big challenges where it kind of gets the creative process going, where you can almost take it to anywhere else you want while keeping the same core concept of it.
Okay, totally. Any insights, new insights into the craft of directing, writing, filmmaking that you got from this experience?
Well, it was my first film that I directed since that last horror show back
Okay.
in 2016. So I guess in a way, it was like I was starting over from scratch since it's been quite a while.
Okay. Yeah.
And but throughout the entire process, it was grueling, challenging, but thank goodness I had such an amazing, not just the cast, but the overall crew, an amazing AD, my executive producer, who's my dad. He's one of my biggest supporters. Like he played a really good
Excellent.
part, not just a really good part, a really good hand in making this film happen. And and like I said, plan B. I One of the big things that I've noticed from previous productions that I've either acted in or even directed, I would rarely see storyboards happen. And
Okay.
throughout this film, I had to storyboard every scene myself. I used to be in graphic design. While it was really grueling for a good couple weeks, it helped so much in helping my DP figure out the shots that I want. I can
Okay.
honestly say my DP, Andreas Grill, he did an amazing job in matching my storyboards. In fact, some of the clips you see in the trailer, I had already made a featurette, which basically showcased the before and after from storyboard to screen. So
Oh, very
it
cool.
really, I guess you could say, damn near perfect how he got it. I was really impressed by that.
That's incredible. Okay, so I'm pulling out some things there. Definitely a heavy focus on pre-production. There's no limit to how much planning, plan Bs, and even like storyboarding. It's so important. And then working with a team who's got your back and can really deliver.
Right.
And the final product looks incredible, and I cannot wait to watch the full thing, having only seen the trailer so far. But tell me, Matt, what are you working on next? Sounds like you're kind of submitting Noman to festivals, but do you have some new shorts in the works?
I got a couple ideas. I do have one that I've been writing for. It's gonna be a dark comedy. I guess the log line is it's about a mundane math teacher that is being terrorized by a sociopathic student. I'm taking that from some stuff that happened back in high school from some people that I knew. So I guess you could say put a little more into my own background in there.
Okay, excellent. Well, I love the concept of that. I can already imagine lots of humor is just kind of from the premise alone. I like that a lot.
And I'll emphasize the fact that a lot of the stuff that we're putting in that film, it kind of did happen. So it's gonna
Okay.
be really wild.
Interesting. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Noman?
And about Noman, uh, yeah, if you're gonna mess with the occult, please read the manual. And there is something that did happen. A couple of things happened on set, actually.
Really? Kind of
Uh,
while messing with these topics?
yeah, during one of the scenes, there was a moment where the light started flickering, and I thought it was somebody messing around. I look at the switch. There's nobody by there, and it's still flickering.
Creepy. Oh,
And
man.
a second one was the older male lead. He was in the second floor, just basically waiting for us to finish filming a certain scene. He mentioned that his door opened by itself. He thought it was me, like looking for him or something, and he looked outside and there was nobody else, and every other door was closed except his.
Wow, and did you shoot this in an old house? Is this kind of a historic location?
Airbnb looks almost
Okay.
brand new, and I guess the tip of the iceberg of those weird occurrences was the night of the first day. I was cleaning up everything, setting up for the next day. I was fixing the salt circle, the pentagram circle.
Okay.
All of a sudden, it gets cold. So I go up, turn up the heat. I go back. Next thing I know, cold breeze just hits the back of my neck.
Yikes. Oh god.
So, and even the officer that loaned us the police vehicles for this film, like he even
Yeah.
warned me saying that it's never good to have a complete pentagram since that it tracks certain things like flies, is what he said.
Okay, well, this is hilarious because the premise of the film is these people messing around. And as the trailer sets up, it's like, oh, these are the ingredients. It's 3 a.m. You got the pentagram, and then, kind of by virtue of filming that, you had to do that yourself, and so you're getting even just a double reminder. It's like, okay, wait a second, are we now the characters in our own film?
Yeah, well, I guess you can say that that's something the Airbnb owner has to deal with. Probably. I'm just kidding.
Right. Well, Matt, thank you so much for talking with me. We're going to be showing the trailer on October 7th at the Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival. And we're going to get people excited to see the real thing probably next year. And I'm looking forward to definitely seeing that new dark comedy that you have in the works.
Awesome, Naomi. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to everything that's coming in the future in regards to this. This is going to be really exciting.
Excellent. Well, take care, man.
You too.